Bubba, good to see you again, sir. Thanks for your time this morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. NASCAR describing it as a garage door pull that was fashioned like a noose. The FBI saying you were not the target of a hate crime and that it had been there at least since last October. When you found that out on Tuesday, Bubba, what was your initial reaction?
I was relieved, just like many others, to know that it wasn't targeted towards me. But it's still frustrating to know that people are always going to test you and always just going to try to debunk you, and that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around now. From saying I'm a fake and all this stuff, and that I reported it when it was news that was brought to me. It was information that was brought to me that was already reported, and so I was just kind of following suit. But all in all, it's another day.
I mean, you never saw the rope for yourself. As Sam pointed out, you didn't report it yourself either. Is there anything that you would have done different?
No, because when I did find out, I was very adamant on searching all the garages and making sure that this wasn't a garage pool, and ended up being one. But the photo evidence that I've seen and that I have in my possession of what was in our garage is exactly a garage pool. It is. That is a noose. So it's it's. I don't know when we'll get to the point to release that image, but it's anybody sees it, then it's alerting, and it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up for sure. But all in all, like NASCAR says, it's a thing that I wouldn't change a thing. I would alert the NASCAR officials and let them kind of take care of it. If I had seen it in person, let them know about it and let them take care of it.
Bubba, to be clear here, it sounds like you don't think that this passes the smell test. It sounds like you're still fairly convinced that what was in that garage stall wasn't a rope pull, but it was a noose, and it was designed to intimidate or make a statement. Is that what you still believe?
It was a rope pull for the garage door. It was attached. The image you see of where it was cut, that's exactly what it was. But it was definitely in the shape of a noose. Wasn't a functioning noose. I talked to the FBI. The two conversations I had with the FBI, which I never thought I'd talk to the FBI in my lifetime. So hey, there's always something new. They said the first one was right after the race and said they're going to do everything in their power to figure it out, and they'll be in contact. And then the second conversation was the final one, to where they gave me the lowdown of all the investigation and research they have completed, and found out that it was a garage pool, but it in fact was a noose. It was not a functioning noose, but it was a noose. And whoever had the time to create that and tie it up like that, just they were skeptical about it. And and the FBI says those types of things. And I told them, I had questioned my team members, are we sure that this isn't something that we're kind of taking out of context? And they backed my team up and reiterated that if you were to see this at this time, you would stand with your team right now of why they were so alerted. So it is what it is. So I know how the information was brought to me and how it was prosecuted and how I was just kind of on the sidelines. But
let's go back. Yeah. Let's go back to Talladega for a moment. Your best finish at Talladega ever. Despite the ban on Confederate flags outside the raceway, there was that plane that was carrying a Confederate flag during the race as well. Have you had conversations with NASCAR about precisely how they are going to enforce this ban on Confederate flags, or are you just hoping people will stop out of the kindness of their hearts?
I haven't had much time to think about anything else there, my friend, let alone have those conversations. But they have the right to peaceful protest, so that's what they were doing. But let it be about something else, and they're up in arms. So it's just a crazy world we live in. Maybe one day we'll all get to a place in this world where we can all treat each other with kindness and stand up for what they believe in is what's right, and which is what I'm doing. So we'll have those conversations later on down the road here soon. But let's get through all this first.
Last question. That show of unity on Monday, that image that moved so many of us, and there was your team owner, Richard Petty, known as the king in NASCAR, one of the founders of the sport itself, embracing you as all those drivers and crew members pushed your car to the start line. What'd you feel in that moment?
You know, I was obviously emotional. There was a lot of love, compassion, and understanding, which has been our messaging since Martinsville, which has been pretty cool. That was you know, very heartfelt for everybody in the industry to come together through that. But you know, it's honestly, my mind is so foggy right now. I'm frustrated on everything that's kind of going on. But no, that was a sign of what NASCAR is. It's family, unity, solidarity, and yeah.
Bubba Wallace, best of luck to you, brother. Be well, okay?
Appreciate it.
Take care of yourself. Thank you.